Silicon Valley, technology, art, green, and sustainability.
Welcome to another episode of Silicon Valley Tech, Art, Green, and Sustainability. Today I'm honored to have a guest with me that's a returning guest, and you are just so well respected in your field, and what you do is amazing work here in Silicon Valley and beyond. Marianna Grossman with Sustainable Silicon Valley, you're President and Executive Director. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you're here as well. You were one of our first guests in our first year, I think show 9, and today's 90. So it's great to have you back and hear what you guys are doing now. You've grown a lot. But before we go there, tell us about you. And for people that didn't watch the other show, let us know how you got where you are now and so successful.
Well, thank you. I was born in San Francisco, and I grew up in the Bay Area, and then I went back east to school, and I was very lucky to study with some of the founders of sustainability, Donella Meadows and Dennis Meadows, who wrote a really important book called The Limits to Growth. And so I learned all about systems thinking and modeling, and then I decided I would go to business school, and after that I went to work at Cummins Engine Company, where we made diesel engines, and I learned a lot about manufacturing and sales and marketing, and also quality, because they were transforming their company to be a total quality company. And quality systems thinking is a lot like sustainability systems thinking. You look at the organization as a whole and figure out how to make it better, more cost effective, how to serve customers better. And so I then came back to California, continued to work in that area.
And by then you were married?
Not quite yet,
Okay.
in tech companies. And then I did get married, and I was working in a technology company doing total quality and organizational change. And then I had twins, and I took some time to raise them and did a lot of work in the community and some consulting and things like that. And
they're in college now?
They are in college now. And
at different ends of the U.S.? Or?
Yeah, in D.C. and in Savannah, Georgia. Wow. And yeah, so quite a ways away. And then now I am leading Sustainable Silicon Valley, and I've been doing that for about the last 4.5 years.
So the organization's changed a lot. Let's bring up the first slide now, and this first slide has how it was actually founded, and we won't go into too much detail, but the EPA, Silicon Valley Leadership Group, and some other organizations, and we can bring that slide down, is actually how it was founded, which is just fascinating. And Silicon Valley Leadership Group was like the engineering association, which was started by the
manufacturing group.
Yeah,
right.
By HP years ago, and they renamed themselves, and then they started you guys. So the goals have changed. Tell us a little bit about the organization now and the goals. And
well, the founding principle was that instead of having the environmentalists and the regulators, the government agencies, and the companies fighting each other, that we all want to have a healthy environment and a good economy and a fair society. So we formed the organization to help bring those different entities together, and that we do continue that work today. We're really good at building bridges among and bringing together for collaboration scientists and business leaders and government people and civic other nonprofits and community members to work on all kinds of issues. And we're looking at sustainability at the institution level, like in a company, how can you make it sustainable? But also at the regional level. So I can make my company a certain amount sustainable, but I can't fix the transportation system by myself. I can't deliver recycled water to my company. I can't fix the energy system alone. But I can work with my neighboring companies and with the regulators and utilities and the scientists and other players to figure out how do we get this new shared technology for shared, smart, sustainable infrastructure.
Let's bring up slide 2 again. And I think slide 2 is, so this was some of your goals. And I think that the website said there was like 35 in all. But there's, and of course I don't have my glasses on right now, there's 6 of them that were listed. And we could put that back up on the website, or people can go to your website, and also there's a photo of us in the first show that you came on. We can bring that back down. So those were some of the goals then. What are some of the new goals now that you guys have come up with?
Well, those goals came from a survey that was done of the leaders in the region to say, what do you think were the important environmental issues we should address
at that time?
At that time, and there's certainly.
And that was 2006.
That was in 2006. Well, yeah,
2005?
around 2004 or so was when the survey was done. And then 2006 is when the Global Warming Solutions Act, AB 32, was implemented. And the organization started to focus just on reducing carbon and greenhouse gas emissions. So we helped companies and cities understand their greenhouse gas emission levels and set goals and work on reducing them by sharing best practices for energy efficiency and green data centers and all kinds of things that companies and cities and others can do.
And San Jose has been a real
energy.
champion in that.
San Jose's been a real visionary leader and has a green vision, but many other cities as well. Palo Alto, Mountain View, Sunnyvale, many of them are doing really great work in helping their companies and their citizens be more green.
So what else is new with the nonprofit that you guys are doing now? And I guess let's pull up slide 3, which is going to kind of answer that. This is Summit West, and here's a great picture of you looking at some paperwork. And what is Jerry Brown looking at there?
So we have now had 4 annual meetings under my leadership around what we're calling the West Summit, which stands for Water, Energy, and Smart Technology. This year we partnered with NASA, and our special guest was Governor Brown. And he's being handed a present or a picture by a scientist named Anthony Barnowski, who wrote an article about a year ago that said we're in the 6th great extinction, that there have been many species extinctions sort of episodes over the eons, and we're right now having more species go extinct faster than any other time in known archaeological history or studying of epochs over time. And so Governor Brown read this article in Science Magazine and called up Dr. Barnowski and said, what should politicians do? Give me a statement of direction for policymakers about how to respond to climate change. And so Dr. Barnowski got a group of scientists together, and they wrote a policy statement, which is you can find on our website, that the governor and the scientist announced at our conference at NASA last May, saying here are the areas that policymakers have to address. They have to address human impact on climate, toxic pollution, on population, on resource consumption, and how we use land, and basically how human beings live on the earth, so that we stop destroying the life support systems of the earth, or the earth's capacity to support agriculture and to support a civil society.
And that can be found in your frequently asked question area or somewhere?
In the West Summit section of our website,
okay.
there should be a link to the policy statement, which is in another website at Stanford, and it's signed by thousands of scientists from around the world. And anybody who's watching this show can now go onto that website as well and add their signature as a citizen, saying these are things that we want policymakers to address, because we want to have a habitable planet for our children and grandchildren.